41% of men aged between 18 to 24, 30% of women of the same age agree that they are totally or partially to blame with their attire that they wear on their night out. And I'm surprised that that many women. Are you?
Well, thanks for asking. Just to make things a little clearer, those stats again were 41% men, 30% women, all aged 18 to 24. Think that the victim of sexual assault is either totally or partially to blame for said sexual assault. Now, assuming those stats are correct, which is a big assumption because this silly cunt didn't actually tell us where he got his data from, that is actually quite shocking. What kind of mongs are out there walking the earth think that some girl walking around in a short skirt deserves to get raped because of what she was wearing? You've got to be some kind of nutcase to think these things, haven't you?
I mean, whatever you wear and whatever you do and how much you drink, nobody is entitled to rape you. What you drink isn't a crime, what you wear isn't a crime. I think what we have to be clear about, and I think this is what the statistics are obviously nodding to, is that blame is a difficult word, is that one kind of releases a level of personal responsibility. If you put yourself in a situation where that element of vulnerability might be heightened, it might only be heightened by a tiny bit, but by the same degree, I don't leave my back door open because there's a chance somebody will break in.
Yeah, there's a joke in there somewhere, but I'm not saying it, you filthy cunts. You were all thinking the same thing.
I don't leave a phone on the seat. I'm just using this as an analogy to say that I don't let my kids play out in the street when it's getting dark. Not because I don't have a right to live in a free society where the back door should be allowed to be left open, but if I'm in any way increasing that level of vulnerability, then I would like to remove myself from that. And that's why where women are concerned...
But you're making the women to blame here.
I didn't use the word blame. I said they are lowering they're raising their level of vulnerability.
It makes it sound like you're saying in part it's their fault.
Pipe down, dickhead. You and I have already got off on the wrong foot. She didn't blame women. She said that just because you should be able to walk the streets with provocative clothes on without getting raped doesn't necessarily mean that you should. And that's fair enough. I think it's down to the individual. The individual should be aware of what could happen, and if they choose to wear those clothes anyway, then that's up to them. But it sure as shit doesn't mean they deserve to get raped.
If you have to look at the place you're in, what you wear, and how much you drink. Nobody invites rape. I mean, there are women that get raped lamentably, terribly every day, who look perfectly ordinary. We heard recently about the sad passing of Jill Seaward. She was in a vicarage. If somebody is an opportunist with monstrous intent, they will rape anybody. But if there's a chance that level of vulnerability is raised, even the slightest, by being dressed in a sexually provocative way, then why take the risk?
Well, I see where you're coming from, but I don't agree. Again, it's down to the individual, but I'd say it's more about where you go and who you're with that dictates the likelihood of your being sexually assaulted. And by the way, I'm talking about proper sexual assault, not this poncy feminist, oh, a guy just asked to buy me a drink, that's sexual assault type bullshit.
I am
First of all, we just really need some facts around this, because this is where it's so erroneous, and that is why we have surveys where people say this sort of stuff, because it's not based on any facts or any evidence. 90% of people who are victims of rape or sexual assault in this country are raped by people who know them. So that could be their husband, quite possibly, a boyfriend, an ex-boyfriend, a colleague. So therefore, it is entirely irrelevant what they're wearing. If the fact that it was what people wear was going to increase their chances, why aren't there like dozens of rapes on beaches everywhere where women are wearing bikinis?
Well, that was a pretty stupid fucking question, wasn't it? I'll tell you why. There's a shitload of people on a beach when it's hot enough to wear fuck all clothes. So the guy would get caught if he raped someone on a crowded beach in broad daylight, wouldn't he, you silly twat?
So what one person sees as sexually provocative isn't what the other person will see. Absolutely. For example, around this table, let's say we all agreed on this short skirt thing. What would be a short skirt to you, say? What would be a short skirt to you?
You have to look at the location.
Where's the rape line on my skirt, just out of interest?
Well, no.
Did you hear that snarky bitch then? She said, what would be the rape line on a short skirt, just out of interest? I fucking hate people with attitudes like that. I just want to reach over the table, grab her by the collar and say, listen, bitch, we're all on the same side here. We don't want people getting raped. Most of the people who get raped are women. So let's discuss short skirts and the likelihood of you being assaulted if you wear clothes like that. Why can't people just talk and discuss things without taking it so personally every time someone disagrees with them?
OK, OK, you have, and I prefaced my comments by saying, look at location as well. We're in a very benign situation. We're in a weekday studio full of busy people. I could walk in a lemon leather corset if I wanted to and would feel safe, in all seriousness. I wouldn't wear that with a tiny skirt walking down a dark street at night.
A very good point there. Like I said before, it's about where you are and who you're with. For instance, if my girlfriend wore a skimpy costume on a night out and some guy was touching her all over, I'd swiftly remove his arm from the socket.
And I've had a tank full of...
But also a very important part here that I think we have to take sexual attraction away from rape. The key driver of rape is its power, its humiliation, its degradation. That's why people, elderly ladies, young girls, people across the spectrum get raped, get sexually abused. It's got very little to do with sex when you look at the statistics. That's the facts.
Well,
Get fucked. Notice she didn't actually tell us what these stats are or where to find them. You're not telling me that rape has nothing to do with sexual attraction. What the fuck do you think slipping a drug into someone's drink and then taking them home to have sex with them is then? You're talking shit again, mate. And that's not to say that a sense of power has nothing to do with rape, but to say that sexual attraction isn't a driving force is, as the French would say, a load of bollocks.
Let me just read out the publication of these results. Fawcett Society Chief Executive. I mean, this is their analysis that we're discussing now. Says, I can think of no other crime where we're so ready to blame the victim. But here, women are being held responsible for the behaviour of their attacker. It's quite extraordinary and reveals just how deep-seated our readiness to blame women runs within our culture.
How our readiness to blame women runs within our culture. Fuck me.
I mean, that is the concern about this report. That's why it is an interesting report. We should look at it, because those feelings do run clearly. And as women get older, when you look at the statistics, women are more likely to blame people for putting themselves in those positions. So we need to work out, OK, why are people still feeling like this when it doesn't marry up to the facts? And that is because we've still got this terrible attitude towards women and shame and sex, and women should be shamed.
It's not.
What the fuck is she talking about? Women and shame and sex? Women use their sexuality to sell things to us and manipulate us every single day. Turn on your TV for 5 minutes and you'll see a sexually attractive woman or 10. Can someone slap some sense into this knobhead, please?
Shame,
It's not making people feel ashamed to say the way they look is making them more likely to be raped.
No, it is a dereliction of our duty as women to say, no, I am sorry. It is a dereliction of your duty to not say, make yourself safer.
This is why it's important to behave like adults and discuss things respectfully. Even she's talking out of her arse now. It's a dereliction of our duty as women to make yourself safe. Jesus H. Christ. Look, this is really fucking simple. Women can wear whatever they like. If they walk down a dark alley with no clothes on, they are increasing their chance of being raped. Use your common sense. If you want to wear revealing clothes, go for it. Just know the risks and do everything you can to counteract those risks. Stick close to your friends. Don't walk home on your own at 3 a.m. Does this shit really need to be discussed?
Do you have a daughter? Would you let your daughter...
got a daughter.
OK, so would you let your daughter go out on a Saturday night
Yes.
with a leather skirt practically round her waist, drink as much as you like, and not say to her, if you're not in a safe environment with loads of friends, or you're not in a situation where you can stay in control...
Is that not
you should
I've
think
also
about
got
your...
wearing, though. A safe environment is different to what you're wearing in the same way you wouldn't necessarily walk down an alley on your own.
Oh, I'm not bothered now. I give up. These people are stupid. Common sense is dead. And I'm off to kill myself. I'll see you all in hell, fellow Nazis.